Hey guys, thanks again for joining me. This is Sean Fairchild, and I just wanted to give you a quick little tour of a bass I recently had built by Warwick, just to kind of show you what they can do, maybe kickstart some of your own ideas. This is the first of two videos. The second one will actually showcase how the instrument sounds, and I'll be playing through an audio interface, so you'll get a lot better audio quality than this. But without further ado, this is one possible iteration of a Streamer Stage II 6-string bass. So ordinarily, the 6-string version of this instrument is not offered stock, but you can have one custom built, which is really cool. I remember inquiring about having a custom 6-string Stage II built years ago, and at that point, it wasn't really even a possibility. It was, you had to order a different model and then do a lot of wood substitutions, and it got very spendy, and it still wasn't fully a Stage II bass that was 6 strings. So now they'll build one. It's very cool. So the top here that I went with is Afzelia Pomele. So Afzelia, which you can see on this stock Streamer Stage II 5-string, really pretty wood, sounds great, a little bit heavy, dark, very cool. So normally you would have this wood all the way through, as you see on this one. But on this guy, on the 6-string, I went with a figured version, the Afzelia Pomele. You see kind of that swirl in there a little bit. And then on the back, I decided to do a substitution, and I went with ash because I like the sound of ash a lot. I've got another ash bass that I like a lot, but it's all ash and maple, and it was too bright, didn't have the depth that I wanted. So the mixture of Afzelia and ash has been wonderful, and it also helps cut down on the weight. And then the other major substitution you'll notice here is I went with maple for the sides of the neck. They're ordinarily Wenge wings on the neck here. Wenge is also great, but also very heavy. So maple is another great sounding and time-tested wood, but can be bright when it's not tempered by something else. So the interior laminations here are the same as you would see on a normal Stage II bass. There's Afzelia, Wenge, Afzelia, Wenge, Afzelia. So 7-piece lamination neck. You'll notice that Warwick has moved away from doing the quick release control cavity covers. Instead, they're doing a matching wooden cover, matching whatever wood you decide to go with for the back. And instead of being quick release, it now features screws with threaded brass inserts and these cool little spring-loaded pop-up guys that are in there. And that is not as much of an issue, where you don't really need to get in there as much as you may have in the past, because instead of replacing batteries, you've got this cool Fishman universal battery pack that just sits right below here, mounted to the lid, and it's accessible through this little USB port. So you can literally recharge this bass like you charge a phone, except for that the battery pack apparently holds more juice than a normal 9-volt battery, which I only change about once a year. So theoretically, you charge this thing up once and you're good to go for the next year. Not bad. All right, flipping it back over. Everything else is pretty much as it would be for either a normal spacing 6-string from Warwick or from the Stage II variety bass here, Stage II model. So these are the MEC offset split coils. I took them out earlier, and the bottoms of them look a little bit different than the ones I have in another bass, so I think they might be a newer revision, but hopefully we'll get some information from Warwick about that. And then the new preamp is really cool. The frequency centers are a little bit different. It's much quieter than it used to be. You'll know if you've seen some of my other videos, I had gone over the Warwick preamp in the past and compared that to an Aguilar preamp and other preamps I like to use. This is a significant improvement, and the treble control is really cool. The treble control, when the preamp is bypassed, and from what I'm told, from what I understand here, it's a total true bypass, except for that these pickups are active. So in this case, it's still an active signal. But if you had passive pickups, it would be full-on passive signal. The treble control works as a passive tone control from the midway point down. So that's really kind of a neat feature. I think is pretty useful. Here we have the Wenge fretboard with the yin-yang inlays that are customary for the Streamer Stage II model. And you would see a really cool laser engraved truss rod cover here, but I have it off right now because I was making some adjustments. So that is pretty much it. That's the Streamer Stage II. Well, it's my take on the Streamer Stage II 6-string. and you can have your own take on it. So stay tuned for the next part of the video, or for the next video, in which you'll be able to hear this thing, which I'm excited to make. And until then, I'll see you. Thanks again for joining me.